The 1924 Grand Prix season saw Grand Prix motor racing expand further across Europe and North America. In Italy, several new open-road events were held. In France, 2 new circuits were opened at Montlhéry near Paris and Mirama near Marseille. This year saw a significant increase in races, including 3 Grand Prix events in France, Italy, and Spain, organized by the AIACR, which later became the FIA. Many other less prominent races took place, each offering different victory prizes and featuring various car classes and models. Enzo Ferrari had a very successful year, winning 3 races in Italy with his Alfa Romeo RL. After winning the inaugural Coppa Acerbo held at the Pescara circuit, he was awarded the title of Commendatore by Italian Premier Benito Mussolini. Following Fiat's dominance the previous year with its supercharged Type 805, most teams adopted supercharging with their new cars. Notably, the French teams of Bugatti, Delage, and Roland Pilain chose not to. The first major event of the year, the Targa Florio in Sicily, saw a significant German contingent led by Mercedes challenge the Italian teams. From the staggered start, it became a duel between Christian Werner and Antonio Ascari's Alfa Romeo. However, in a repeat of the previous year, Ascari's car stopped within sight of the finish line. Pushed by spectators, he was disqualified, giving victory to Mercedes. The entry list for this year's Indianapolis 500 was dominated by Millers. They faced Fred Duesenberg's team with his new supercharged Straight 8. Joe Boyer's Duesenberg initially took the lead until supercharger issues forced him to pit. The Millers of Jimmy Murphy and Earl Cooper then traded the lead for most of the race. Boyer, meanwhile, had swapped cars with his teammate LL Coram and gradually reeled in the leaders, taking the lead with 24 laps to go. Boyer and Coram won at a record pace and gave Duesenberg their first Indianapolis victory, also marking the first shared victory in the race. The French Grand Prix, this year's European Grand Prix, maintained its preeminence with a strong international field. The race was held again in Lyon, which had hosted the epic 1914 race. Most works teams arrived with new cars, including Bugatti with its iconic Type 35 and Alfa Romeo with the P2. After Pietro Bordino initially led, Antonio Ascari took over and dominated the race. The challenges from Sunbeam and Fiat wilted over time. Then, with just 3 laps to go, Ascari slowed and had to pit, but was unable to restart. His veteran teammate Giuseppe Campari came through and won, barely a minute ahead of Albert Divo's Delage. Having been beaten at their own Grand Prix yet again, the French had high hopes of victory at the San Sebastian Grand Prix. Fiat and Alfa Romeo stayed away to prepare for their national GP. However, it was Henry Segrave in the Sunbeam who narrowly won from Mayo Costantini's Bugatti and André Morel in a Delage. The dominance of Alfa Romeo dissuaded Bugatti and Delage from the Italian Grand Prix. Injuries to their drivers then caused Fiat to pull out, and Mercedes were not ready yet, so the organizers postponed the race for 6 weeks. Only 4 teams arrived for the race in October, which would be a contest between Alfa Romeo and the new Mercedes. However, when Louis Zaborowski crashed his Mercedes and was killed, the rest of the team withdrew. Ascari won, leading a 1-2-3-4 result for Alfa Romeo. With the increased interest in the 2-liter formula, Voiturette racing fell into the background, predominantly serving as local and lead-in races.